I'm going to remove, so in tomorrow's handout, I've kind of removed this, and I removed the N for tomorrow's. This is how the format I used to use for my APs, and I was trying to adapt it, and then I was really, and you can see on my screen it graded out, but when I printed it, the grayness didn't show up, and I'm just going to remove it from yours altogether. But I want to show you what would go in here. So this first problem is about asking individuals, for someone who's committed murder, do you favor someone in them having the death penalty or life imprisonment? So that was the survey. That's what we're trying to figure out. So the parameter that we are trying to understand is, then the reason why this is a lot more helpful for like something like AP is that there's a lot of different parameters. Right now you're just talking about a proportion, but we can talk about two proportions, the difference in proportions, means, difference in means, matched pairs, chi-squared, regression. There's a lot of different parameters. You only have one. So we're trying to figure out about the proportion of American adults who favor the death penalty for those who committed murder. And of course, you can see that I'm kind of paraphrasing it in my own words, and I can copy, and I talked to you about copy and pasting. But that's basically what this is information. You could write out for that. I think you could write that those who think the penalty for murder, the death penalty, in favor of absolutely no possibility of parole, which means prison, life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. And I did that. Now, why this is helpful as well is that this sentence right here, this sentence is what you're going to include in your confidence interval. We are 95% confident that, and then you just copy this sentence down. All right? You can see why it's a little double. Now, the other thing is the name of the interval, which I said we're not doing it here. The name of the interval here is called a one proportion confidence interval. I'm not going to test you on this, but the name of what we are doing for your future efforts and understanding, this is called a one proportion confidence interval. As you can understand, there's also something called two proportion confidence intervals. There's something called one mean, one sample mean, two sample means. There's a matched pair means. There's intervals. There's hypothesis testings. So in my actual AP class, and we would cover this, there is a total of 14 different intervals or inferences. We're only doing two. Okay? One proportion of confidence interval. And then next week, we're going to learn one proportion hypothesis test. And that's it. On the next one, the next question is talking about individuals who suffer from Crohn's disease and if they respond positively to this injection from infliximab, from the drug. We can even just call it the drug. So my parameter is the proportion of people, and I know it says patient, but I'm going to go with people with Crohn's that will respond, or respond. I think the will is unneeded. That respond positively to infliximab. Now, just something to note here. The most important thing I want you to know is I didn't say the word responded. I said that respond. Because when you say responded, you're referring to the sample of what we already know. We want to know how many will respond. not responded. And of course, you're going to write that down below. And then this is a 1 proportion confidence interval. When I ask you for the assumptions and conditions, what am I looking for you to do? What are you going to check? What's the way that we do the assumptions? Sin, yes. Okay, and you'll do that in the front and the back. And then just like we did when we did the minus and the plus, you're going to do that. Now this one right here on the back second problem is a 98% confidence interval. So be careful. In that problem, your Z star is going to be 2.33 for this problem, for the 98%. Okay? So be careful on that. And again, you're just going to do the plus or minus. Practicing both the front and practicing the back. You have 20 minutes. If you're focused and you're working, I think each problem the work should be able to be done in 10 minutes. So you should not have to go, but ideally you finish at least the front problem in class, not this one, and this one becomes homework. I'll upload this. I'm going to pause the notes.